Just that,
Uh-huh.
just that.
We're good.
Okay, all right. I'll call the meeting of the McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Oh, can't see with my glasses on. This is application number, I can't see that, 2024-010. PIN numbers are 12-20-300-008 and 12-20-300-024 at the address of 3703 Mill Stream Road in Marengo. Our applicant is Mark Quando,
Correct.
and this is a request for A1 agricultural district to an A1 agricultural district with a conditional use permit for a landing area restricted to personal use. It's a 5-acre tract located on the west side of Mill Stream Road, approximately 1,200 feet north of the intersection of Mill Stream Road and Garden Valley Road in Seneca Township. I'll start with the introductions of our board members, and we'll start at our left.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Township.
Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Charlie Eldridge, Richmond Township.
Vicki Gartner from Dunda Township.
Kurt Schnabel from Raleigh Township.
Thomas Jers from Coral Township.
Bill Kernick, Grafton Township.
As you know, we're all from different townships. Okay, so what we will do today is we will first get your information. I'll read the legals first, make sure everything, you know, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and then I'll swear you in. And we'll ask you why you're here and what you want to do. And then the board will ask you questions about that. And we'll go over the standards for this request. And then if the staff has any questions for you, that will happen. We don't have any public here today, so we don't have to worry about them. And we'll hear the staff report, and then we'll have questions for the staff from the board. And then you can make your closing statement, and then we'll go into the voting portion. So first and foremost, let me read off all the legals. The publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper is dated June 29, 2024, and thereby meets the ordinance requirements. The affidavit of posting was signed and the date posted was July 1st, 2024, and thereby meets the ordinance requirements. The affidavit of mailing was signed and date mailed was June 27th, 2024, and thereby meets the ordinance requirements. The survey has been checked against the petition, legal notice, and publication in the newspaper, and all three matched. The filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition. The McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received, number NRI L24-008-4564. Okay. Please raise your right hand and I will swear you in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Now, please tell us your name and what it is you would like to do.
My name is Mark Quandall.
And your address, I'm sorry.
The property address is 3703 Millstream Road. And that address is actually assigned to the 08 parcel. Yeah, I purchased the land almost 3 years ago now. Active Tree Farm. Sold and transplanted and moved a lot of trees. But my ultimate goal was to use part of the property for takeoff and landing a small aircraft. And I've made a living for 32 years or so as an aircraft mechanic. Travel around to various airports to do my job, and I'd like to be more efficient by flying a little airplane out off of this property. To do so, that's my main objective. So yeah, Anna and I have worked together quite diligently over the last few months. It started as just a strip, you know, and like that's all I want. Eventually I'll have a hangar here and maybe here. So that's how it grew into the 5 acres. I do have intentions of selling the -24 property.
That would be the west end,
The east end,
the east end.
the larger part.
Okay,
So I've got a legal driveway easement going across that property, which I did not have when I bought it. So it's a legal recorded easement driveway to get to the back 10, this 08. So yeah, if this dream of mine happens, hopefully a year or so from now, I would intend on putting that other lot, the -24 up for sale with, the potential of a new owner also being able to utilize the runway and we share it.
okay.
And I'm gonna continue the tree farm. I'm replanting, we planted about 300 new little trees this year on the smaller parcel, so I'll keep that business going on a smaller scale on the 10-acre parcel.
Okay. So do you sell the trees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, sell 'em, do some planting, delivering. Most of them are, put in basket burlaps and down the road for landscape.
And is the, you said you had the driveway set legally, right?
Yep.
And is that what's coming off of Mill Stream Road?
Yeah, on the very southern edge of the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started with the culvert permits and then extended that drive as a legal easement across 24, and then it ends about 3/4 of the way into the -08 property.
Okay, is that gravel?
It's asphalt grindings.
Okay,
Correct. Yeah, I seen it described as gravel. It's not paved.
yeah, okay. Okay. Are there any hangers on there now?
No, there's 3 ag freestanding. There's one like wooden shed that came with the property, and then I purchased 2 of the steel, storage containers, which have been documented as ag,
Okay,
100% ag. There's no permanent, but I call permanent structures anyway.
yeah, okay, like a big.
There's a well and power on that back 10, which was there when I bought it.
Oh, so it is improved then?
It's an irrigation well. There's no septic.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna let the board ask questions before I ask all of them. Starting with Mary.
Good deal. Okay, you say this is the property, where do you live? Do you live
I
on the
live in
property?
unincorporated Huntley,
Okay.
Harmony Road, Bottomman Farms, 10 miles south. I've been there since '07.
Okay. I was out there yesterday and I saw where they're planting your trees. And I went as far as I could on what I considered very rickety road. I thought I was gonna lose my suspension entirely on that.
You're the one my wife was wondering who it was.
That
Another
was-
white car.
Yep, that was me. That was me. Because I'm looking and I'm going, okay, so, because I forgot this goes here and that goes there. So I was just checking to see
So if
where
you
that-
drove in as the driveway continued straight where it started that zigzag, that's the property line,
Okay.
basically, of the separation of the 2 parcels.
Okay. That part is fine. I had one other question, but I didn't write it down, so I'll have to
We'll get back to you.
maybe.
Okay, Bob?
Thank you. Could you just give a little of your background or interest in airplanes?
Been a licensed FAA mechanic since basically after finishing 2 years of tech school out of high school, since I've been about 20. And various jobs, mostly in the business jet maintenance world. That's what I'm currently make my living on primarily, other than the tree farm. But yeah, A&P, and then inspector's authorization as well as the next rating you get after 3 years of experience. So yeah, a private pilot about the same time in my early 20s. I got a private pilot and kind of went in different stages of non-activity or not being current to current. And right now I don't own an airplane, but I've got a friend that's got some small airplanes in Schaumburg I've been renting. And actually not current today, but hope to be here soon. And yeah, long 30-some years in the business and love flying little airplanes and maintaining the little bigger and faster, more expensive ones.
In this kind of configuration, what type of planes or size? And
I've got like a target performance. I mean, there's such a wide range. Maybe a single engine, probably classified as a 4-seat. But what that means is, yeah, you put 4 people on it, but basically hardly any bags. So most of the time it'd be, me and some tools and equipment, So small single engine tail dragger that doesn't take much runway. My goal is to have the performance specs say needs about 1,000 feet of runway. This is 1,700. I'd like to have 1,000 pounds of payload and be able to go at least 600 miles on a tank of gas. So that's small single engine.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Charlie?
Are you proposing a paved runway or just a dirt runway?
No, just grass.
Grass. And roughly, you said 1,700 feet long, about how wide?
50 with a buffer.
Okay.
This is actually, these lines are 75,
Yeah,
but the official documented, call it 50.
okay. And you don't presently own an aircraft, but you're renting aircraft to fly around, basically?
Yeah.
And what size hangars are you proposing? And you're really just proposing one for yourself and then maybe one for
Yeah.
somebody,
Yes.
Yeah,
if the other guy is.
I put down 40 by 40.
Okay,
And that would house pretty much any small single engine airplane.
right. Are you planning for the hangar to meet commercial standards? So you won't be doing any maintenance of it on site, you'll just be storing it?
Yeah.
And are you proposing to have anybody except you or maybe a buddy who's coming out for a picnic or something use the runway for any purpose?
No.
You won't be hosting any events on the site or anything of that sort?
No.
Do you propose ultimately to build a residence on the site?
I originally did, but my wife isn't on board with that currently. So the way it looks, I probably won't.
Okay, so possibly.
Possibly,
But at
yeah.
this point, no plans to do
That's,
so.
yeah, when we first bought, that was definitely our intentions, and now her dream is a lake house. My dream is an airport. So our big house we live in might become a lake house instead of a new house out here.
Well, you could dig a hole and make a lake there.
I'm thinking put floats on the airport. And go to the lake house.
And at this point, you have power suitable for an irrigation well and not much else in the way of infrastructure on the site.
No, they ran underground from Millstream to a transformer
Yeah,
way back by the back blue section, and a massive well, 5-horse, 3-phase well that, I can irrigate. I got water.
so you have three-phase power
Yep.
there.
Yep.
How big a service is it?
I only got 100 amp service to the little breaker panel I have, and I'm yet to determine if it's capable of 200.
Yeah.
I think it probably is.
I would think it probably is.
At least. I'm hoping 400.
If it's
I guess you gotta look at
three-phase,
the
I wouldn't be
gauge.
surprised if it were 400.
Yeah, we gotta look at the gauge of the wire coming into the transformer, I
Yeah,
guess.
well, that may be ancient too. If it's my age, then I wouldn't chance it.
I don't think it's more than 25 years probably since that transformer was put in by the previous owner.
Okay, have you had any discussions with any of your neighbors about the fact that you're planning on putting an airstrip in?
I've only met 3, and I mentioned it to all 3.
And have You received any pushback?
No.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions at this time.
Okay, Kurt?
Basically, the questions I had have been asked except for one.
Okay.
If you had a plane right now, just for our record, how often do you think you would use the airstrip on, say, a monthly basis?
Weather's the big factor. I don't intend ever seeing to be able to use this under instrument regulations being, less than 2 miles, but average, I don't know, 10 to 15 trips a month, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
The winter is not gonna be much, rainy, if it's below a minimum visual flight regulation, though, I'll be in the car.
Yeah, one follow-up to that, now that I think about it, we've had an awful lot of rain, obviously, the last week. How did your field survive that?
There's some standing water. I haven't been out there since Saturday. Right after this meeting, I'm going to check it out. But I know I got 7 inches at my house between Saturday and Monday.
I hit over
I
5.
told my farmhand to turn the irrigation off for a few days.
Yeah,
I don't think we
that's
need-
all I really was curious about.
Yeah, I don't have any, there's no wetlands. There's one area there's a couple areas that will hold a little bit of water.
Okay, Tom?
No questions.
Bill?
No questions.
Okay, I just have one more. Have you landed on this land yet with an airplane?
Not a full stop. Well,
That doesn't sound good.
you can touch down and then take off.
Touch
So
Oh,
we've-
okay.
We've touched the wheels down and then take off.
Is that like
In a
just
Piper
to
Cup.
test it out and see if that would work?
Yeah.
And it didn't turn over or
No,
anything.
it does.
So you get a rush.
Kind of rough in some of those places.
Okay, Anna, do you have any questions?
We do need to review the standards.
Yes, I was going to do that right after your
Okay.
questions.
Okay. So other than making certain that we review the standards both for the conditional use permit and specifically for the landing area, restricted/landing area, restricted personal use, mouthful there. No, I don't have any questions.
Well, thank you for that mouthful. Okay, so we do have some standards that have to be met for a conditional use of this type. So we'll go through those now. If you have a copy of the staff report, you do, right?
I didn't print the entire
Okay, well, we're looking at page 5, if that helps. But they're up on the,
staff report, that's what I'm in here. Yes,
okay.
staff
They're up on the screen too, if that helps, yeah. Okay. Have you demonstrated the ability to meet any applicable standards contained in chapters 16.56, blah, blah, blah?
Which is actually the next slide
I
here.
know, yeah.
So do you want to do this next slide first? Or do you want to come back to that standard?
You want me to go to 2, is that what you're saying?
No, the next slide is the one talking about the
Oh.
landing area.
Okay, all right, let's do that then. All right, this is just for conditional use for a landing area. Okay, you have to meet all the standards of the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Illinois Department of Transportation, Division of Aeronautics for the class of facility proposed, and be designed and constructed in accordance with all state and federal rules and regulations. Are you willing to abide by that?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a site of 5 acres or more? I believe it's yes. It's 5 acre tract, yes. Okay. Commercial parachute operations, flight instruction, and fly-in events are prohibited, except for as provided for in the Illinois Department of Transportation regulations. You'll abide by that, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Aircraft service facilities such as hangars, fuel and aircraft maintenance facilities, and pilot and passenger facilities are limited to facilities necessary for the use of the owner and his or her invited guests. And you already said you're abiding by that.
Understood.
Okay, the use of a restricted landing area, personal use, is limited to use of the owner and his or her invited guests free of charge.
Understood.
Okay, now we'll go on to the conditional use standards. The petitioner has demonstrated the ability to meet any applicable standards contained in chapter 16.56, use standards, and 16.60, site standard developments. And since you've gone over this with staff already, we're gonna say yes on that. Okay, that the site shall be so situated that the proposed use is compatible with the existing or planned future development of the area.
Say that again?
Is the site situated so that the proposed use, the landing strip, is compatible with the existing or planned future development of the area?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Is the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use not detrimental to or endanger public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare of the neighboring vicinity? Okay. Is the conditional use not injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity or for the purposes already permitted? Okay. Is the conditional use not will this conditional use not substantially diminish and impair property value within the neighborhood? Okay. In other words, it's not gonna change the property values around, right? Okay. There are adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being provided, and that's,
Yes.
okay. That adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion and hazard on public streets. Okay. The conditional use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the zoning district in which it is located.
Yes.
The conditional use is reasonably in the interest of the public welfare.
Yes.
Adequate measures will be taken to provide protection to groundwater recharge and groundwater quality.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. On to the staff report.
Okay, for the record, my name is Anna Kurtzman. I'm a senior planner here with McHenry County. The subject property is currently zoned A1. Property to the north is zoned E5. There's a little bit of E3 to the east, but otherwise, the predominant zoning in the area is A1. Surrounding land uses, again, is a mixture of agricultural and single-family uses. And our future land use designation has this area continuing to develop as agricultural. Staff has no objection to the request. We do recommend a minimum of 2 conditions. One is the standard use shall expire 10 years from the date of approval by the McHenry County Board. The second one being all other federal, state, and local laws will be met.
Okay, thank you. And you agree that the standards have been met?
Correct.
Okay, and this is not in conflict with the future planning?
That is also correct.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Anna? Charlie?
Just one for the record.
Yes.
You mentioned that there are a number of residential properties in the area. Those residential properties would generally be characterized as large lot isolated estate properties, wouldn't they?
I would definitely classify them as larger lots. The ones that I saw out there are typically back away from the road, so more private.
Yeah. Thank you. That was all.
Go ahead.
Yes, was there any comment received or were any included in the notices for this hearing?
I have received no comment from anyone on this particular petition.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so did you want to add anything else to your testimony or just go over again what it is that you'd like to do?
No, I guess the only question would be what happens after 10 years? If it does go through, what's the procedure to extend it out beyond 10 years?
Right, you'd have to come back and have another hearing before the zoning board to renew your request. And if there's, no problems within those 10 years, then it's kind of a slam dunk, yeah.
There's no real, if I don't make any changes to the 5 acres, it doesn't go through the whole process through you guys, or
So
does
regulations,
it cost me money to?
regulations,
I get the same amount.
Okay, we don't do this for free.
I know.
Yeah, they pay us big bucks.
so regulations do change over time. So
Yeah.
I cannot tell you what the regulations will be 10 years from now. Today, yes, you'd have to go through the entire process again.
Yeah,
It is very standard that the first time a conditional use comes through, that a 10-year timeframe is established, just to ensure that you have time to get things started, and so that there's a record of compliance
sure.
that's established.
Okay.
After that 10 years, depending on how things are progressing, staff, ZBA, the county board may amend the time limit, either shortening it, keeping it 10, or even extending it beyond that for the next round.
And the other thing too is that, once this is actually approved, the change of the zoning goes with the land. So if you sell the property, it's still gonna be a landing strip, and someone else may come in and do something that you would never ever do, But, we have to keep our eye on things.
Sure. Got it.
And
Okay,
anything that pertains to the landing strip, the use of the airplanes on it, are restricted to your site plan. So if in the future you decide that you want your hangar 200 feet different from where you have shown it, then that might trigger a need for an amendment to your conditional use. If it was moving a couple of feet, we usually are not that picky about it, but any significant difference.
Got it.
okay. All right, so we have a full board today, which is unusual. So we can vote today. So I will close the hearing portion of the meeting, and we'll move into the voting portion of the meeting. And we do have, let me just reiterate that this is going to be a vote for glasses on. Application number 2024-010 at 3703 Mill Stream Road in Marengo for an A1 to A1 district with conditional use permit for a landing area restricted personal use. Okay, we have some conditions to go along with this vote. And they are right here.
4.
I went too far.
Also on the screen.
Oh, I can't see that with my glasses on, so. I have them, okay. Okay, the first condition is the conditional use shall expire 10 years from the date of approval by the McHenry County Board. Second one, all other federal, state, and local laws shall be met. Are there any
Madam
amendments?
Chairman, I move acceptance of the conditions.
I'll second that.
Okay. Where did I put that? Oh, here. All right, I'll call the roll for that. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Mr. Jers?
Yes.
Ms. Donner?
Yes,
Mr. Kernick?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. So those two conditions are approved and will go along with the vote.
Madam Chairman, I move acceptance of the petition subject to the conditions.
second.
Okay, any discussion, Mr. Eldridge?
Yes, this is a petition for a landing strip restricted to personal use. We have quite a number of them in the county. This is an area that is isolated and largely rural. with estate type of residences generally in the area, but it's generally a very rural area, but to a considerable degree carved up into 5, 10-acre parcels. It is not in the path of any proposed significant intense development of any kind in the foreseeable future. It is not in conflict with any other aircraft facilities in the county. I believe it is an appropriate use for the property, and I will support the petition.
Thank you. Ms. Dunn?
I agree.
What he said, yeah. Okay.
Trying to think of something pithy and it just wasn't coming out.
Mr. Cozen, got anything pithy for us?
No, other just to recognize the submission of the documents as well as the testimony, and with the belief that it fulfills the requirements of the ordinance, and therefore I'll be supporting it as presented.
Mr. Schnabel?
I support the petition.
Mr. Jers?
I also support the petition.
Mr. Kernick?
I do as well and had nothing to add to the comments made by my colleagues.
Okay, and I support it as well. So I will read the roll for the vote. Mr. Eldridge?
Yes.
Mr. Cozen?
Yes.
Mr. Schnabel?
Yes.
Oops. Mr. Jers?
Yes.
Mr. Kernick?
Yes,
And I will vote yes as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes?
Oh, did I miss you?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I counted 7.
That'd be neat, so will you formally ask her, please?
Yes. Are you in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, there.
This passes 8-0.
And more.
We can do that for government.
So, formally closing it?
Yes,
Okay,
the meeting is now closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Yes.
And I promise the next time I'll come up and knock on the.
Okay.
See you for the next
And we just recommend the county board are the ones whose vote actually counts.
right now, there's a schedule to go in
Oh, that's
August
right, 24.
through the county board, so it'll be August.
Oh, that's too bad.
So,
Oh,
I'll
actually,
bring a
this one, you
copy for
don't have